Well, now, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi there. Did
Hi.
anybody by any chance hear the audio there? Because that time I didn't hear it.
We heard
So,
it.
you heard it? Good.
Yeah.
So, interesting show tonight. I didn't hear the audio, but I hear you just fine. Hi, everybody. Here we are Saturday night, and we're going to get our stuff together here. Welcome, everybody. We've got a good show tonight. Hi, Nancy. Good. I was the only one that didn't hear it. And I know why now. Anyway, so boy, we got us two dogs with one foster home, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, this is Linda, the founder. I'm Steve, and everybody, let's welcome our superstars for tonight. Hi, Joe. Hi, Chris.
Hey guys.
And who's who here? We have Delta Dawn and we have Bear, don't we?
Yeah, Delta Dawn is the little girl here, by Bear standards anyway. And this is Bear over here with Joe. He's got the green bandana.
Okay.
We've got our full supply of treats here.
All right. And we have Roman. He made it gracefully right on time. So, let's start with Bear, can we?
Yeah.
He's the one wearing the green bandana because he's a boy, huh?
Right?
How old is he?
He is 3 years old, 90 pounds. He's been with us for about 3 weeks.
Oh, you've been with you for about 3 weeks. You by any chance have any kids, or has he been around kids?
We have a 6-year-old nephew that has been over several times, and they've done great.
Awesome. What about cats?
No cats.
Rabbits?
We don't
chicken?
know. We don't have any cats. Yeah.
Good. Good household. I like that. I have a couple cats if you need them, just so you know.
We are dog people, as you might tell.
Yeah. What else can you tell us about Mr. Bear?
He is so sweet-natured, just that gentle giant kind of a demeanor completely. When he came to us, he was a little skittish, a little bit shy in the new home. We at the time had 2 dogs. We, in the meantime, have lost one of them and gained Miss Delta here. But he's done really, really exceptionally well. My sister has a little Yorkie also that she's brought over. He's just really a great demeanor. He does a good job of kind of walking around and making the space his own over these last few weeks. He's also done a good job of just, when we go out on walks, he is just the best dog on a walk we've ever had. We've had labs that just pull and pull, and he will walk right with you. As soon as you put any kind of tension on the leash, he stops. We don't know if he's had leash training, but he is just an amazing walker. We've got a pretty decent size aluminum fence outside that we let him loose in, and he is just run in the snow. We had about 10 inches of snow on the ground. It's melted here over the last 24 hours or so, but he has just been 100% in his element in that snow.
Wow. Now, we understand that when the reason he came into rescue is he had a problem staying on the correct side of the fence. Did you hear that rumor?
We did hear that rumor, so we've kind of been paying attention to him. And when we first started letting him out, we wanted to make sure that he kind of knew where the boundaries of the fence were, and he really did a great job. And so we just kind of allowed him to have a little bit more freedom out there and a little more. And he's been awesome. Our fence is aluminum, so it's not completely
I see it there.
To be adjusted, but he has not really challenged the fence at all. It is a 5-foot tall fence, and he continues to sort of walk the boundaries, but we've not had any kind of issues with him trying to get out. No digging, nosing, anything.
Is there a possibility that he doesn't want to go anywhere?
We think that's definitely a real possibility. He does seem to enjoy being outside more than inside, but he's happy to lay on the floor in the living room too. Every time he has an opportunity to go outside, he is happy to do that, just go exploring. But he does seem to be pretty happy.
I see he likes to lay,
Yes, he
including
could
while
treat
he,
also.
including while he eats.
Right.
That's a heck of a boy you've got there. But he's kind of small. He's 90 pounds, huh?
Right.
Love his bandana.
Thank you.
He's ready to be adopted. He's ready for a family.
Did he tie that himself and get it all squared away?
We're not quite there in his advanced training yet, but we're working on it.
Gotcha. He looks like he's just very, very happy right where he's at. This is good. So he can do this, can't he?
Yes.
He can. He really likes people.
That's amazing. Wow. Because we heard all about somewhere I've got pictures of the scars on his nose there from where, well, he was escaping his other home. So, and those lasted a little while, didn't they?
They did, but they have slowly but surely come off. We had a vet visit a week or two ago, and the vet took a look at them and said, you know what, I think those are kind of dried up and just right off. And he had a little bit of a fresh wound there on his nose for a little while, but totally healed now. He's looking like a good boy. Joe's giving him a shower, took him into the bath and hosed him down with some dog shampoo, and he is fluffy and fresh and handled that really, really well. You know, the first time that you take a new dog into that type of an environment, you're not really sure how they're going to react, but he has just been nothing but a super positive demeanor.
Wow, I love it. How come they only have 2 foster dogs?
Keep in mind, we do have our own black lab that is full-time with us as well.
Okay, all right. We'll be gentle in the beginning, okay? Wow, so GPRescue.com, that's where you go to read all about Bear, and his bio is up there. Now, he has a little foster sister, doesn't he?
He sure does. This is Delta. She is
Delta Dawn.
We think she's about 6 months old, and she unfortunately had a little bit of an issue. She was found with a broken pelvis, so we've gotten x-rays on her, and she has got a bit of a fracture there that she's trying to heal through. We're doing kennel rest as much as she'll allow. She struggled a little bit here as we've had that 10 inches of snow on the ground. She's not a big fan of that as we go out to potty every once in a while. So we tried to kind of layer some spots where she can get to that a little bit easier. And the crazy thing about both of these, we've done our fair share of foster dogs. These are our first 2 with GPRescue, but we've done foster dogs with a number of organizations, and every dog that's been in our house is taking a little bit of warming up. Even if we heard on the front end that they are house trained, these 2, neither one of them has had a single potty or bathroom accident in the house. Not one.
Is it a good time to ask which one of the rescues are your favorite?
They're both really, really wonderful. Hard to pick. They both really bring their own personality, and they're of course, I'm a big fan of puppies and yellow labs, and we think little Delta here has some yellow lab in her. She's kind of got some freckled ears, but got some Pyrenees and some yellow lab to her. Bear is just, he almost, you don't think of buying a house and that turnkey house that you just walk into and it's ready. Bear is kind of that turnkey dog. His spirit, his personality, his behavior, I just don't think there's a whole lot of training that a new owner is going to have to do with him. He just, I think, is going to fit right in that new environment. He's just super wonderful.
So what you're saying is
a little bit of training still.
So what you're saying is they're both your favorites.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Don't tell our black lab we said that.
Yeah. Linda, doesn't she look like Quinn?
Yeah.
Picture. Okay. So, but she's adorable, isn't she?
She is.
So now I understand that did you say or did I hear, or did you say that the vet said that the surgery wasn't needed for her fractured pelvis?
Yeah.
That's
When
right.
I spoke to the vet, we had a couple, I needed to have a couple opinions on that fractured pelvis. And we even sent one over to Chris, Dr. Chris, and he agreed that rest would take care of that. Because I needed to know what I was looking at bringing her in. Were we going to bring in a pup that was going to require a several $1,000 surgery? I needed a heads up on that. So I had a couple opinions on her x-rays, and she's doing great.
Awesome. That's amazing. And she has an upcoming appointment and to see if she continues to do great. Is that how I'm hearing this?
Yeah, I don't want her to be adopted until I have a clear x-ray of her 100% being healed.
Does his tail ever stop wagging?
Not when the food's out.
Okay. All right. Nancy, he does sound like a
camera shot
perfect
here.
boy, doesn't he?
He's a beautiful boy.
He is.
Look at Delta Dawn.
We have Great Pyrenees Rescue Society with us tonight viewing.
Hello, hello.
We're streaming to their page also. Thank you for that, Melise. And
Someone had a question, Steve. Someone said they had a question.
Morgan has a question, but I haven't seen the question yet.
What's your question, Morgan?
Yep, we're
Type
ready.
it out.
Yep, spit it out. Don't be shy. Well, wait a minute. Be civil though. And Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana is here. We also stream to their page. We get around here. We're streaming all over the country.
Hello, Montana.
Hello, Montana. Hi, Carol. And Roman makes a valid point. I don't. That's hard to say. Roman.
I tagged my veterinary homeopath
Oh,
because she does these things like for living. So it's like, you know what? Is this something she can help with? Just wondering.
okay. Gotcha. I had to bring it up. All right.
I try to keep it under the radar.
All right. Okay, you guys. I tell you what. Thank you so much for fostering. It's just you guys are doing great, and thank you for coming on board here. I guess Morgan doesn't have the question, or he got shy, one of the two. So we're going to move along. And GPRescue.com. Now, are we you're taking applications for Delta Dawn, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take applications and process, but there won't be any adoption until she's cleared medically.
Gotcha. All right. Hi, Julie. From GPRS. You're in Washington. Or Julia, sorry. So yeah, we're getting out there now. This is exciting, isn't it? So, and Sam also wants to thank you guys for fostering. And we hope you can come back on the show with your next foster
Sounds good.
or your foster fail story. One of the two. It doesn't matter to us, okay?
My fosters always have first dibs on the dogs.
That's
They talk to Reagan a lot, but I'm the founder, so I'm telling you guys that you guys got first dibs.
yeah. And there's Jeff saying hello. He's out west there somewhere. He fosters for Great Pyrenees Rescue Society on the West Coast. He has a dog named Callie. So we have a lot of fosters. And there's Ashley in Utah. You guys didn't know this part, did you? We get around, don't we?
You do everywhere.
We're based in Missouri, but we're not obviously limited to Missouri. Okay, you're in Kansas, and we have rescue and unity, so we work with other rescues. So anyway, so all right, we're gonna everybody's saying hi. You guys are pretty popular with those two now, and look at Delta just going to town on that, being so gentle too.
She's a beautiful girl.
She is. She's very beautiful. Okay. That was a typo, Lori. We get it. It was a typo. We understood what you meant. I'm sorry. Jeff's adopters. I'm sorry. They adopted Callie. They're not fostering Callie. So
She's like a bull in a china shop.
oh, come on, not a Great Pyrenees. She's kind of clumsy, isn't she?
Mhm.
All right, GPRescue.com. That's where you apply for Bear, and that's where you see your updates on Delta Dawn.
Where
what a
do
name.
people apply to become fosters?
Well,
GPRescue.com.
that's what I just said. If it's happening, that's where it's happening. Is GPRescue.com. Everything's right
We
there.
make it all easy for you, all on
Yeah,
one page.
we all go to one place, and maybe we can even get a link to Roman up there one of these days. You never know. See,
Yeah.
everything would be in one place. So, Lori's watching from New York, just so you guys know. Okay, and I think if Maureen comes, oh no, Maureen's on vacation. She's in Chicago right now. She's not in Wisconsin tonight. Thank you for coming on with them. We're going to take you down in the green room.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
you guys have a busy
Thank you.
schedule.
Thank you.
And wow, thank you so much for taking such good care of these dogs. So
Yes, thank you.
and
Our
you
pleasure.
guys have a great night.
You too.
And we're going to have a good rest of the show. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Wow, I'll tell you, them some good-looking dogs now you have there. Wow, GPRescue.com. That's where
It's you. There's no secret that I have the best looking dogs. I say it every week.
Well, now wait a minute. I thought Melise on the Founders Show said that last week.
No, I'm pretty sure I have the best looking ones.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that one since Melise isn't. Well, now wait a minute. She could make the comment. I think personally, I think they're all the best looking ones. Okay, that's how I stay out of trouble now. All right. All right. Now we've got one heck of a talking point coming up here. I think what I'm going to do is, do you want me to play the video that we saw or not?
I mean, it's
not a trigger
posted.
alert.
It's not like it's not a secret.
All right, let me get over to it.
I wouldn't play a lot of it, but
no. Well, we don't really have to because I think we should go right into it.
And here's why. Because we see all those videos and we say, such a cute dog.
Okay, let me bring it up,
Right?
Roman. Good point.
And then we don't see the signals, like
Yes.
the flags,
mm-hmm.
like we do. Most people don't.
Yep. Good point, Roman. So I'm going to do a screen share on that. Okay. And
There's no trigger alert. It's just a cute dog.
Yeah,
Oops. I said it. Sorry.
it's a beautiful dog.
it's a beautiful dog. Yes. This was in Florida, I believe, right?
Yes.
You want to go into that, Linda, while I'm cueing this?
Well, I mean, I probably know as much as anyone else. I know that it is to rescue that brings in stray and abandoned dogs. I know they brought in, looks to me, I mean, I think Roman could probably, looks like a cane Corso to me, but that doesn't matter. The breed doesn't matter. The dog was brought in, they were working with the dog, and just in the description, they said the dog just snapped and actually killed one of the volunteers that were working with her and injured another that was trying to take the dog off of her. So,
Yes.
I don't know them personally. I don't know the story. I don't know the details. There's, I can't talk about that. But I just know that it was sad because we lost someone in the rescue community that dedicated her life to helping these dogs.
And we don't want that to be repeated. It could be repeated. It has been repeated in the past from people in rescue. And we just need to be aware of the signs.
Yes.
We need to be aware of the background of the dog. Because what we usually do is we tap into the drama and we tap into the pity and we don't see what the dog is struggling with. And the dog is not in the center point. The drama is in the center point, and we have to be very careful about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the video. I took the audio out of it, okay? And we will make it a little bigger.
Well, I need to add. Oh, we can hear it.
Okay. Let me back it up. That's only because you're hearing it over my speakers. Okay.
Mhm.
So let me mute that. Now we can talk over it, okay?
Mhm. Well, one thing that I noticed watching the video, and I had no
Right
clue which story that was. The first thing that I noticed, and you see the dog's hackles are up,
Yes.
very stressed. I can see right off the bat the dog has a medical condition. Her hips are like that.
Yep.
It's a hip. She can't even walk correctly, and her anxiety and her pacing is likely pain related. I don't hear anything out there. There's nothing that could be worrisome other than her phone beeping and clicking all the time. And every time that happens, the dog is kind of like looks at her. She's
Yeah.
not.
Well, I know there was some x-rays done on the dog. They're
Okay.
waiting for that. From what I understood, they're waiting for the vet to call back and let them know what she found and what the, treatment would be.
So if that dog was my session, the first thing I would say, that's a problem right there. The
Yeah.
reason why she could be at that threshold, emotional threshold, and pacing and panting, she actually was salivating, the close up that she had later on. I would definitely point that out. Like the dog has medical conditions. At
Mhm.
least it should be on pain medication and see if that improves or not. If it improves, meaning is yes, the dog is in pain. If it doesn't, then there is something else going on. And we don't have to go to crass medical intervention, just regular pain meds over the counter. You can totally work that out.
Mhm.
And
She was
I-
definitely a storm that was brewing.
Yes.
She had a
Okay.
lot going on.
yeah, a storm, a
Um,
weather storm or a health storm?
No, I mean, leading up to what happened, to me,
Yeah.
she was like a storm that was brewing. I
yeah,
mean,
mentally
the
brewing.
the medical, the emotional,
Right.
all the fear. I mean, I noticed. I mean, I noticed that the back legs also, Roma, but I also noticed there was not a lot of interaction. She was not interacting with this person at all, really.
No.
You know,
It's nothing to do with the person. It's the dog not being able to interact with the person because
Right.
she's basically pacing back and forth. Considering she's coming
right.
back, and watch this.
hmm
Hackles are still up.
Right? And she walks away. So
Yep.
how much she can handle of that affection was very limited, which means the dog easily gets overwhelmed. So from my perspective, the dog is at threshold. And again, it's easy to talk after an incident, but that would be my first point is to find out.
Yeah.
Okay. How long does the dog interact? How much does the dog tries to interact with the person? How much does the dog come back and wants interaction? That kind of an indication how comfortable the dog feels like with people in general.
hmm
So, and again, it doesn't have to do anything with the breed. Any dog can do that.
Yeah, no. hmm
Just a bigger dog, you can see more things. Okay. Her tail is down. She's not wagging the tail coming up like, hey, mom, I'm back kind of thing. She's not even, it's kind of like her tail is hanging down with like whatever emotional state.
Well, if you hear in the video, they said that she was afraid of everything, even the wind blowing.
Mhm.
Right.
To me,
And
I
that's
mean, this
again-
should have been a dog that should have been assessed by, a qualified behaviorist in the very beginning.
And
And-
the first thing the dogs
Absolutely.
do who are in pain is that.
hmm
Temperament testing.
Yeah. Pain is a great indication of the dog not liking things, being at threshold, easily bursting out. And having allergies, for example, can also be pain related, not being tolerating. So allergies adding on top of pain can also be very uncomfortable for the dog to be. Like don't want to get petted a lot.
Roman, can you touch base on? It drives me crazy when somebody say the dog bit out of the blue. To
No,
me,
that's-
there's
They
no
said
such
the
thing.
dog snapped.
Yeah.
Is what
It's
they
There's
said.
kind of
no
like
such
saying
thing
the
as
gun-
out of the blue. There was
gun
leading up.
bullet
There's a
left
leading up to the
gun.
dog
No.
behaving the way that she did. So,
First of all,
people say, well, and that's a big mistake when you say, oh, she just snapped out of the blue. No, she didn't just
No.
snap out of the blue.
the
She
only reason
told
I
you
would
many
say-
ways.
The only reason I could say a dog snapped out of the blue if the dog has a brain issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Suddenly the dog goes into let's call it seizure. Okay. And the dog basically is not aware of his environment and basically snaps by accident. I had a dog with a traumatic brain injury. He was air snapping because something triggered the dog, and if you were next to him, he would bite you. that would be still a reason. Like even that is a reason. Cancer is a reason. So there is no out of the blue for
Right.
somebody.
And let's just say too, let's make sure we don't know what the dog's medical was.
No.
So
No,
we're not even going to touch on that. I mean, we don't know if she had any kind of neurological issues, brain swelling. We don't know.
But
So we're
she's
not
not
even going to.
comfortable. Look at her.
Right.
Yeah,
Look at her
she's not
like that.
comfortable, but we're not going to touch base on her medical because we don't know it.
No.
Right. But we can say that if we say for no reason, there
Mhm,
is at least a medical underlying condition that hasn't been confirmed yet. But
mhm.
for my clients that I work with over the years, and I think I have at least 2,500 clients, every time it was a medical condition, at least. But it just adds up like that and this and the stressful and poor nutrition and stress, and the dog not be able to capture stress. The dog was stray, now he comes back in, she's scared in general, and fear is pain related. Okay,
Look
if a
at that
dog
right there.
yawning,
Another
these are all these
big,
triggers.
wow.
Okay, panting is a pain indication. Okay, even if we don't have the test, we assume it is just to make sure it is not.
And look at her eyes.
I mean, everything combined, Roman. I mean, what really brings a dog to a point to actually kill a human being? I mean, that's an extreme case.
Two things that I have noticed, and I have dealt with three situations that a dog choose to not stop. Okay, one situation that I know of 100% because I know the details was the dog that I'm working with. Was the dog was physically abused, and he got to the point of no return because he responded to a handling mistake that triggered a PTSD response, and in a everything the dog does is to survive, which means it's him or the other one who will survive that outcome, and the dog will not stop until it's dead. But that is a very, very, very end of the story situation. It's a dead end situation, and there are literally very few dogs who will get there, but all of those dogs have a traumatic past. No dog with common dog sense, a dog who had been in a somehow normal environment, in a somehow normal adoption system, meaning the dog's being adopted 8 weeks, okay, from a normal situation, that dog would never end up to that situation. Even if he was physically abused, he would bite, he will hurt, but he wouldn't kill. So the kill switch comes in from pre-existing trauma or PTSD that will kick in at that point. And the dog sees nothing else other than rage. Even if that is because the dog was being tested for rabies, even with rabies, that wouldn't happen. Because the dog wants to stay safe. Now, if he would respond physically against the dog, then the dog will not let go. But again, it depends on what the dog latches on that can be fatal. So one bite can kill a person, but a dog doesn't go to that point unless he knows how to do that because he has done it before.
Go. Now, they said that in the article, they said the dog mauled her to death, and the other person that was trying to assist was injured, but they euthanized. This all just happened Thursday. Okay. So this is still unfolding. We're still learning things.
Right.
How long did they have the dog in rescue? I'm not sure. Okay. It wasn't real long. They were working with her. They knew she had issues and they were trying to work her through them. All right. And and I tell you, we're really, really, this is not a good thing because this is rescue. And there were some bad comments on their Facebook page from a couple people, not many, but come on now, we got to learn the dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Were there warning signs here? Yes, there were. Okay. I saw them. Linda saw them. Roman saw them. Roman just identified them. Okay. Quite a few of them, more than I saw. I saw the first ones, and that was that. That's where I stopped. Okay. The dog was euthanized. Okay, they sent a sample out for rabies, testing, but I think that's all they're doing. But I'm not sure yet. This is still unfolding.
I feel as a rescue in general, what we have to understand, and I appreciate Linda for taking that route. She says, I have a dog. That's her background story. What is the likelihood of me having issues with that dog? And then we start having a conversation. What is the potential of that dog? Before we even start working with the dog, we know the dog's potential because of we understand what happened in the past. We can reverse engineer based on specific behavior traits and based on specific patterns what could have happened. What was that, Roman? How should the dog exhibiting this sort of behavior
Be
be
handled.
handled? Well, if we see a dog behaving that way, then we need to bring in a specialist who specializes with these type of behaviors. I give you an example, and please don't take me wrong, it's not a sexist statement. Just because I had a lot of girlfriends doesn't make me a gynecologist, right? Just
Yep.
because I had many cars doesn't make me a mechanic. I know how to talk to people. I know, I got married, so I'm okay with it, but it doesn't make me a specialist having an experience. So I can call myself, I know a lot about trauma. I'm not a trauma specialist for people, but I know a lot about trauma in dogs. I've been through trauma myself. I know what the triggers are. Right? And from that perspective, there is a specific kind of like idea how to proceed. Is there is no specific protocol because each dog has a specific trauma that stems from environmental factors. I don't know these factors. I cannot go with the protocol. If these are her puppies, that's an additional trigger for that dog.
That's right.
A female in lactating state has her hormones so messed up that she will kill to protect herself and the puppies.
Doesn't look like it, but it could be.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that would be something to consider.
Yeah. One of the first things that just a standard protocol, just a dog coming into rescue, we have to clear medical. Okay. And the first thing I would have done with a dog that was behaving like this is number one, we pay closer attention and we get eyes on the dog physically, not virtually. Okay.
Right. The other thing that we see is that many veterinarians don't understand pain. They don't. If you don't measure pain on a dog, you don't know if he is in pain. So if somebody suspects the dog is in pain, then give him pain medication and see if the behavior changes, and then you know he's in pain. Or you do a test. You basically can do a blood work and see if we have elevated panels, and that confirm the pain.
Well, from what I understand, the dog was improving each day, taking another step and another step and another step. Something happened that day.
Well, there's always a setback.
They don't have to talk about it. It's not for everyone to know, but
I worked with dogs who were fine for a very long time, and then there was a setback, a weird perfect storm of things that came up to a neighbor's dog challenging the fence. The dog is already at threshold, and a person comes in, wants to work with the dog gets overwhelmed, and then the dog just, I don't want to, and then all of a sudden that overwhelming emotion about that can trigger a PTSD response. A wrong word of a person who uses accidentally the same word that the other trainer who eventually hard worked on that dog with a shock collar, a prong collar, saying sit to a situation the dog feels already guilty, kaboom, it will explode.
Yeah. But you said the key word, trigger.
Right.
Trigger. Okay. We've had dogs where no caused the dog to lunge at you. Okay. Remember, matter of fact, you and I worked one in Maryland one time, or New Hampshire, somewhere in the Northeast one time. But yeah, if I was the untrained eye, look at that dog, I say, wow, yep, that dog's improving. Okay.
I'll give you an example of my dog. The other day, I got another dog my own dog.
Oh.
So it was a stressful day. We left in the morning, we returned back in the afternoon, and the dog was alone, and we had a delivery. So that was already stressful, and the delivery was another stress on top of it. And then I left and went to pick up money. And my dog got so stressed me leaving that he had separation anxiety. Happens. And what happens is he found a bone outside and he brought it in, and my wife didn't see it. And so he hid the bone. The bone slipped underneath the desk. He couldn't get it out. And my little chihuahua showed up, like, hey, what's up? And he growled at my dog. My other dog was on the other side of the room, and he got worried about that growl because he doesn't see the justice. He checks in, and my dog attacks my other dog for intervening with it. And my wife was in between. It happens all the time. We park in the wrong parking lot and we have a dispute with somebody. Doesn't make us a killer. However, my wife had enough tools to diffuse the situation. The first thing she did, get the dog's attention, got him outside because she saw that stress level. Instead of trying to correct and punish the dog for growling unjustifiable, then she found out about the bone because it wasn't obvious what it was because it was hidden under the desk. So that would be out of nowhere, right? Yet there was a reason for it.
Wow. Yeah, Sam, I hate too that the dog was euthanized. They didn't see another choice in the matter, and it was animal control. A woman lost her life, and that's very sad. Our thoughts and prayers are with the woman's family, with the rescue, and that yeah. If we ask you a lot of questions about your dog that you want to surrender, yep, we're going to do that. We're going to continue doing that, and we're going to.
I need to ask the question in general. I'm not directing to anyone. What would a rescue do having that dog who killed someone in rescue? What are the options other than keeping him for yourself?
Yeah, how do you adopt him out?
So adoption is off the chart because nobody
Right.
would adopt a dog out.
How do you put that in his profile?
Right? I would keep that dog. And then let's go worst case
You
scenario.
did too.
I did 3 dogs.
Ziggy
Right?
and T-Bone.
Nobody killed them, but they were all on the euthanasia list for making the attempt to.
Right.
Okay. Now, I would keep
It's
it.
a little hard to keep a dog that killed a human being.
Right. Definitely.
It is.
So I wouldn't even blame the rescue for making that choice. The dog has to go. Because sometimes I would say, in that case, the dog's life expectancy and quality of life will be down to 0. I would rather be dead than being in these conditions the dog would be. But I would still not call it out.
Right.
I couldn't call it out.
And also too, there's a lot of dogs, a lot of breeds. I'm going to have to say our breed, our Great Pyrenees, they don't want to hurt people.
No.
Okay. They've been going for 4,000 years, known to get along with humans. Okay. And Cane Corso, it's a guardian breed.
I personally thought it was a Corso, but I looked closer by. It could be a band dog.
A what dog?
Band dog.
Okay.
And this is a mixed breed of different breeds, making it kind of like an American tough dog.
Gotcha.
Mixing those breeds. And so they're mixing different things in there. Nobody really knows what it is. It's really just about certain behavior traits. And having a dog stray, you don't know where it came from. What if the dog was out there from somebody having in Florida, whatever, could be drug cartel keeping that dog, and he didn't work out because he wasn't so bad as they thought he would be, and they had to let him go.
Oh. Hi, Brenda.
Good. Brenda chimed in.
She chimed in.
Brenda is my go-to person when it comes down to veterinary alternative care. So this is where I go with my guys.
And that's a whole different show. Thank you for tuning in, Brenda. Thank you for responding like that. So let's go back to the fact that we had a lot of warning signs here, and we don't know the folks at this rescue. Okay. And we're going to have to assume that they're very well aware of basic behaviors. Okay. They knew that they had to work with her, and they were working on working her through them. Okay. Now let's go with a Great Pyrenees that's been astray for however long. The longer that he is out there figuring things out on his own, the less he needs a human. Okay. And when a Great Pyrenees doesn't need a human, now we've got a little bit of a challenge. How do we show Great Pyrenees that, hey, you need me? And he said, yeah, really? Well, yeah, you're about 40 pounds underweight. I think you need me. But so we don't know his story at all, or her story. I'm sorry. Her name was Gladys officially. Okay. That was a nice name. And that looked like a very good sized dog too. So did the dog mean to kill the volunteer? Maybe not. Okay. Maybe she just meant to ward her off, but the dog is so powerful and the human was so fragile.
She looked like a very small woman.
Did she? I didn't see a picture of her.
I mean, not that that matters, but I think she was she was on the smaller side.
And from what I understand, she had been with the rescue for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing
she's done a lot of good work in her career.
Yes.
One thing we should be aware of, and especially as fosters and rescues and adopters, we have to become trauma informed. We can assume 99% the dog has at least one trauma, maybe two. So the first trauma is the dog being removed from his family, trauma number one. The next possible trauma is relocation trauma. The dog leaves his safe space, goes somewhere else. So we have now two traumas, and very conscious saying that. It's not maybe, it's likely 99%. Okay? Now the next thing can happen is the dog may have an underlying medical condition we don't know.
I was very suspicious.
Right? No, on any dog.
Well, any dog, yeah.
Any dog, right? Because we don't know what he was feeding before. And being a stray dog, of course, he wouldn't have a creme de la creme on top of his meal. Okay? So we need to assume that this dog got into something that may be toxic to him. So starting with food is the best route to go. Feeding the dogs multiple times a day and checking what goes out, what goes in and what goes out. The texture, the color, the dog's behavior around food, okay? And from my experience, feeding the dog multiple times a day is the best route to go to make the dog feel safe, that all resources are provided. Because the first thing you see with stressed dogs is the fluctuation in the blood work. Her blood sugar goes up and down. And that causes anxiety and stress. So balancing it out. We know, scientifically speaking, that children who eat multiple times a day healthy food and not highly processed food are less likely to get in fights with their schoolmates. Right? Dogs are the same thing. Less stress, less problems. And once we have that stability, then the dog will start looking up to you because he has the brain capacity to process his environment because he's not in survival mode. And then he can recognize, hey, this person is consistent. This person is providing food for me, fresh water, exercise, all these good things. And then we can go to the next level and say, now that we have the basic needs met and each dog has his specific basic needs, like every other dog, then we can go to the next level and say, what else can we provide to the dog? How about we provide care and love and consistency to that phase? So we can go to the next level. So some people think it's just a time thing, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months. That's not correct. It's not a time factor. It's a relationship factor. And how long does it take the dog to get there depends on their circumstances.
So there's a lot of factors. So if you want to, and Roman touched on something extremely important here. The first trauma is losing his home. Always remember that when you're surrendering your dog. Okay, that's traumatic for your dog. Okay, your dogs in some situations, they shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around you. They shouldn't have to be afraid if they make one mistake, they lose their home. Okay. That's not what we have them for. Okay. I've got a little butthead here, and she can be a butthead, and she's there's no fear of her losing her home whatsoever. You ought to see a couple of them that Linda has. There's no fear of losing their home whatsoever. Roman just went a long way to get one back. Okay.
Right.
But they shouldn't have to walk on eggshells like that. You can't expect your dog to make all of the concessions. All right. So,
And one thing that we forget, and I did a show today about that, is love is not the tool to heal a dog from trauma. It's an essential part of it, but not the tool. And I paid that price this week for somebody who wanted to love the dog and didn't pay attention of the dog's needs. What a person wants to love a dog is not the same what the dog wants or understands what love is. So how do you care for the dog? How do you give him information? How do you see the dog's needs, how they're being fulfilled? How consistent are you? How do you comply to those needs? That's what makes the dog understand that you care for that dog.
good point, Amelia. Okay. Yes, our prayers go out to the woman's family big time. Okay.
Yes.
It happened. We wish it hadn't happened at all. Now in rescue, that can happen. Linda she's at headquarters. She brings dogs there. You brought two of them there just in 1 week, didn't you? In just a few days. You didn't know about those dogs. Okay.
No, but I'm still very careful too.
That's right.
Training is the first thing that comes in. I don't just approach a dog and bow down and want to hug it and help it.
Right.
You know,
Was this avoidable? We don't know. Okay.
Right.
Boy, I want a studio like Linda's. Look at her chair. You don't even have to sit up. Heck, you can kick back. Oh, you have a pillow too.
And
white
she knows
pillow.
she's not supposed to be up on the furniture, but she's like a kid. She knows I'm busy, and she snuck up next to me.
Is that
like,
Lucy?
don't worry, I'll be here.
Is that Lucy?
That's my precious. Yes, that's Lucy.
Okay. She does know better, doesn't she?
She does. She's very smart.
You've had her for a long time. And that's also a brand new sofa that needs broken in, so it's the more comfortable for mom.
That's why it's covered. It's white.
The sofa's white
Yes.
and the dog's white. I don't see the problem.
Well, yeah, but underneath there's some brown, some
Okay.
dirt, some pine needles, leaves.
Okay,
She's
we
got
have a
all kinds of
question.
stuff stuck in there.
We have a question directed at you, Linda. Lori was on.
Rue is doing
Rue.
great.
Yeah.
Rue is a puppy. Rue runs, she plays, she barks. She's got a great appetite. She's running up to people and wanting to be petted. She's such a great little pup. She's completely potty trained. She never has any accidents in the house. She walks beautifully on a leash, a long and short lead, and she's got great recall.
So
I know I
she's not
keep
a deer
saying that,
after
but I'm
all.
just like, she's got such great recall. I love it. Yeah, she comes in the house. She comes in when she's darn good and ready and when she's done, but she knows exactly what to do.
But she does come in. Now, doesn't
yeah.
Patty make a valid point there?
I can't see it past what I'm sorry. Isn't that what
That's
they call
why
it?
they call it furniture.
Yeah. Yes.
Forever home.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. We don't know what the issues were that brought the dog into rescue. I don't know what the details.
The dog was a stray.
Okay, dog
There were
was
like
straight.
100 dogs stray.
I know that they are a wonderful organization, wonderful rescue. I mean, let's not forget that. I mean, they've saved and rehabilitated many, many, many dogs throughout the years. You know, this was just something unfortunate that happened.
Yes.
And a woman did die. So, and a dog died too. You know, I said to Roman, I said, I feel so bad that the dog had to die. And I said, I know I would get shit for that, but I felt really bad that the dog had to die for it too.
Well, it's sad the dog had to make that choice. There was a reason for him to make that choice. And the reason for him to make that choice is not always for the person who's dealing with that dog who get the result of that choice. But it's 99% human reason why the dog had that choice.
Yes.
And that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Can you see that, Roman?
Could Roman expand on love not being the tip of the arrowhead of care of troubled dogs? I can actually prove it to you. Let me pull up, if I can. Hold on a second. I have a picture, if I may. No, I cannot. Do you have, by any chance, the picture that? No, I'm trying to find it.
Spit it out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think what she was getting at is love doesn't fix everything. What does?
Well, here's the thing. The way we perceive love is very conditional. I love you because of this and that. At the same time, for example, we ask the dog to come to us, and we come with this concept, nothing in life is for free. So the dog comes to us with that affection, and we ask him to sit before we pet him. We ask him to lay down before we feed him. But that's not what the mother would do. If the puppy is hungry, she's there for the puppy to eat. The milk is always available. Okay? Safety is always available. There is no condition to that. But instead of us creating the secure attachment relationship, which is part of loving the dog in a human language, the dog doesn't see that. The dog, what he sees is how he feels about it. If he feels good about it, then he's being taken care of. If he doesn't feel good about it, then he's not. So our love is meaningless if the dog doesn't feel good about it. And what makes the dog, how can we see the dog feels good about it? If the dog sleeps and doesn't worry about anything, if he gets up and he has his food, everything is provided for, he doesn't need to worry about anything, that can say the dog feels good about it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if the dog wakes up for every sound, meaning is the dog doesn't feel safe. It's sometimes breed related, genetic related, but usually the dog who's super scared, he's also very fearful of things, that something happened in the past, and we need to do a little bit more work to make the dog feel safe. But love alone, it's a theoretical aspect. It doesn't help anybody. Love doesn't do anything.
Right.
So if you love your dog unconditionally, then who is protecting the dog? Because you're so busy loving the dog.
That's
Just
one way to
saying.
look at it. Yes. Nancy wants an update on Betty. Do you have an update, or wants to know if you have an update on Betty?
Yeah, I actually have an update and a question for Roman about Betty. So Roman, the question is, when Betty White was on with Ellen, you had offered your assistance to her, you Betty White. So her question was to me, the behaviors on the webcast when Betty was on, he mentioned wanting to help. Wondering if I can speak with him. I think Betty has PTSD. She is fine, calm and happy when someone comes and the other dogs in the house bark. I guess they're saying stranger and she freaks out. She goes into a panic survival mode. She can't hear me telling her it's me. As soon as something touches her, she's snapping and defending herself. I'm guessing it's from being in the woods and that she did have to defend herself somehow. So to answer the question, Betty is doing fine physically, but she's definitely going to need, now Roman, she's starting to feel better physically, but now all that trauma, all that PTSD that she has is what she needs now. So I could put you in touch with Ellen if you could help her with that.
A little bit sarcastic here. That dog behaves out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's out of nowhere, isn't it?
Right.
We knew this could happen. Okay, with Betty, this was actually expected. Okay.
So
Yeah.
my first, we're just sharing a little bit how I would approach it. I will, but I'm just giving you a heads up. The first thing I would ask, who is barking first in that team of dogs, and what exactly is he barking about?
Right.
Okay, because sometimes that dog sending false information to everybody can cause that dog to be in a panic attack because the other dog barks about we're gonna get killed. The other dog know about the story, like yeah, whatever, but she is taking that as granted.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was working with a dog who somebody wants to put the dog down for aggression, and the cause of the problem was a blind dog who I never met before. I just heard the third dog bark in the background, and who's that? Oh, that's Billy. He's blind. Like, wait a minute, he's causing the problem. So we took the blind dog out of the equation. The dog barked just
It can't be the blind dog.
so they almost killed the dog for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally, he was on the euthanasia list. They were expecting the dog to go to the vet to be put down, and somebody says, call Roman. It's not for advertising myself. It's how wrong can things be, and we don't know about it.
Yep. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Wow. But you're right. That's a very, very good point. If they're barking, if they're not barking at anything, okay, if it's fake, okay, because a lot of times too, when it appears these barks and barks, they're also requesting
dog will
assistance.
fall.
Okay, they're asking for help too sometimes.
Well, it's sending poor Betty White into a
It
really hard state when they're doing that.
Yeah, because basically the dog goes back into domestic violence mindset.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So good. Betty's going to be in good hands here very shortly. This is
Yes,
awesome.
she is.
Thank you, Roman. Betty was very, very popular. Still is very popular. Here we are, and
Oh, she's very popular. Yes.
yeah, and
She's
so
put on some weight too. She's looking
Oh,
pretty good.
we got to see if you can get another video for us from Ellen, and we can show that next week.
Well, I would like to have Ellen back on with her.
Okay, how about we
and
have
then-
Ellen back on with her?
Yeah, and then she can talk to Roman too. I mean, on the air and give.
Yeah,
some
we can
updates
talk on
and-
the air, but definitely we need to sit down. I would need the video
Absolutely.
footage to see at least a video capture, not for me. I know how that sounds like, but so we can go through all the stages that the dog is going through. Like
Yeah.
the first trigger, how long does it take until the trigger? And what I will do basically, I usually slow it down to 25% because I need to know who barked first, because that's
Yes.
my target. I'm going after that dog. I'm not going after her. And I want to know, why is the dog barking? I'll start working with that dog who shares false information.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm
she
getting that
definitely
out of
needs it.
triggers. So
She
removing the
needs to grow it.
triggers, I will not have any much problems anymore.
So, did we just give a preview of next week's show? That depends on Ellen's schedule. So, Ellen,
I'm
if
sure
you're
everybody would
watching-
love to see Betty White again.
Ellen, if you're watching, I agree with Linda. I think everybody raise your hand if you would love to see Betty White again, or
Press the
whatever
like
it is.
button.
Yes, press the like button.
Love,
the
Better
I
yet,
want to see
press the love
Betty.
button.
Yeah, if you want to see Betty White again. So
So if I don't see more than 50 love buttons, don't do the show.
yeah, well, we're getting quite a few of them here. Okay.
49, okay, 40, 41. See, here
Yeah,
we go.
42,
Come on,
43,
keep coming.
44. Oh, we didn't hit 44 yet. Maybe I should hit the love button, huh?
There
All
you
right,
go.
so maybe here we are at 10 o'clock. All right. Maybe we got our preview of next week's show. We're going to ask Ellen, we're going to invite Ellen back on. All right. See what happens there. So, thank you, GPRS, for letting us stream to your page. You guys have a lot of nice folks out there, especially up in Roman's neighborhood. They're most of their adopters, if you remember right, in Pacific Northwest. Our adopters were pretty much everywhere, right, Linda? Anywhere transport goes, that's you have the ability. So GPRescue.com. That's where the applications are. That's where the dogs are, the bios. That's where you can donate. That's where the wish lists are. You can volunteer applications there. And this is not an extensive volunteer application. It's actually the basics for the online is pretty simple. Okay. So fill one out, help out. Okay. And don't forget, if you see abuse, report abuse. Okay. Rue would really, really appreciate that, and so would Rue's sister. Okay. And how is
It's
Rodney?
better to be wrong than not knowing about it.
That's right. And I'll tell you what, if somebody reported me suspecting one of my dogs being abused, I would thank that person for paying attention. Okay. Because it's not going to cause me any trouble because I'm not abusing my dog. Well, they think I'm abusing them, but I'm not abusing my dogs.
I had sand in the car in Arizona.
That's
and
right.
Somebody called the cops.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the cops for coming, and I
That's right.
appreciate the person for pointing it out. I had to prove that my dog is fake, though.
That's right. I will
Now I
prove
know
the
how to
dog
do
is
it. I have
safe.
to cover him up so nobody can see him.
But the
Her,
bottom
sorry.
line is I highly appreciate people paying attention to the welfare of my dogs. Okay. So if you see abuse, if you see suspected abuse, report it. Okay. You can't go wrong.
Don't walk away. Don't record it and then post it on social media. Report it.
Yes. Yeah. Because if you record it and post it on social media, you're going to get a lot of attention, but the wrong attention.
Yeah.
You gotta report it. Okay. Then you can post it all you want. Doesn't matter. But
Sometimes it's difficult.
Send it to the proper authorities first.
Yes.
Not just for likes.
Sometimes it's difficult to report it. We have to come in with accuracy and not drama. Hey, this is what I observed.
Yep.
This is my observations. Talking about it sometimes will hit deaf ears. Keep continuing doing that.
Calm, cool, collective.
Right. And especially if you guys, for trainers and fosters and any people, if you're suspecting things, it's not just the dog. It goes deeper.
Yes. Hi, Melise.
Hi, Melise.
And
So-
hi, Shelly. How you doing, Shelly, out in Utah? They did not, the dog was a stray. Okay. If you're talking about the one in Florida. If you're talking about Betty White, she was shot. She was shot in the head. Okay.
Out of nowhere.
For no reason.
For no
See,
reason.
I love that.
yeah.
Happened out of
Everybody
nowhere.
calls dogs typically don't do anything without a reason. Okay.
Oh,
So anyway, Lori, you got the hashtag GPRM. I'm gonna have to send you something. We're not going to do the drawing tonight because we ran out of time because I couldn't keep my mouth shut. All right. Sorry. We'll do 2 drawings next week. Maybe Roman will make an offer
What is that?
for the drawings.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. We're not going to have one this week. We're going to shoot for 2 next week. Right. Who was it? The 1, 2 in a row. Somebody.
oh yeah. Who was that?
Who was that? Was that Nancy that won both of them? And we didn't go.
I don't know. I know Nancy won the bark box.
Yes, she did.
Did you get that yet, Nancy? Are you watching? Because I ordered it the next day for you.
Yeah. And Sam won a collar. Sam, your collar is due to be there Tuesday, according to USPS. We sent it out yesterday. I was a little under the weather. All right. But I feel better now. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. But she was getting it in just in case. And that's always a good thing because when we do our drawing, it's hashtag GPRM. We want you to have that in your mind. Okay. So, she got it. Yep. It was Nancy that won twice. Sorry, Nancy. You can only win once in a night. Okay. That's
Nancy, don't forget to send me some pictures.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to see the babies with their toys.
All right, everybody. We're on overtime, and what a show tonight. Roman, thanks for your insight on what.
Yeah, thanks, Roman. I think it answered a lot of questions for a lot of people.
Yes.
And the people on that social media page, I just want to say they got to stop the bashing of the dog and the person in the rescue.
That
A
is
woman
also
lost
abuse.
her life.
Report
dog
the
lost his
abuse to Facebook, but not the group. Okay. If you see person going after the rescue with mean, that's abusive. Report it to Facebook. These people have to get out of Facebook. It's not
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
That is correct. So, all right,
Yes.
everybody. See you next week.
All right. See you later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.